That question is a very difficult question, and the reason why it's difficult is because it's confusing. Damping, motivation, pay for performance, do they really link together? But teachers can ask whatever they want, and blaming the question is not a solution. Instead, put a smile on your face and say, okay, fine, I'm gonna answer it right. That's the first thing. Set a very positive attitude, okay? It helps a lot, trust me. Now, here's my suggestion to answer that question. The question is, discuss Damping's argument about motivating employees and link it with what we have learned in Chapter 11, Pay for Performance System. So you can see that there are three smaller problems that we have to solve here. What is Damping's argument? What is Pay for Performance System? And how they link together? Now, if you have enough time and space, in the exam paper, then you can answer all three problems in details, and you should. But if you don't have time, focus only on the part 3, which means that how they link together. So the first part of your answer is summarize main ideas in Damping's TED Talk, which means that you have to watch the video. So if you haven't watched it yet, please do the job and come back here, okay? I think that there are two main ideas in that video. The first idea is Damping concluded that the old system of motivating employees can only work in very limited conditions. So the old system is based on the if-then relationship. If the employees achieve a certain level of performance, then they will receive certain rewards. And this is kind of using extrinsic motivation, using some external rewards to motivate employees. And Damping argued that this system can only work in very limited situations, when the problems are clear, when the solutions are clear, when the task jobs require only mechanical skills. For example, the employees can just follow step by step to get that level of performance. And he argued that in other cases, this kind of system doesn't work or even lead to poorer performance, because many, like 90% of the circumstances, that the situation is very uncertain and complex, right? The second main idea in that video is Damping proposed a new system of motivating employees, and this new system is built on intrinsic motivation, which means that to evoke employees' desire to perform certain tasks because it's interesting, it's important, it's a part of something bigger. And he demonstrated that there are three elements of this new system: autonomy, the degree of freedom and control that the employee have over their work; mastery, the opportunity that the job provides to the employee to get better and better at what they are doing; and purpose, which means that the job is significant and being a part of something bigger. And Damping concluded that to get higher performance, organizations have to implement this new system more and more often. Now, the second part of your answer is, what is Pay for Performance system? Well, Pay for Performance system is a system that rewards employees based on performance, which means employees who work harder, produce more, perform better will receive bigger rewards. And that is a kind of using extrinsic motivation, isn't it? Now, what's interesting here is Damping just concluded that using extrinsic motivation doesn't work. So why we still use Pay for Performance system? In fact, Pay for Performance system is the most popular tool that many organizations use to motivate employees. Why? Second, if intrinsic motivation is very important in motivating employees, then is there any way that we can add more intrinsic motivation into the pay for performance system so that the system can work its best? And that can be the basis to the main part of your answer, part 3. Now the third part of your answer is how Dan Pink's video links with pay for performance system. And this is the main part of your answer, okay? So if you have 10 to 15 minutes to answer the whole question, then you can give very details of each part, make them like 3 paragraphs so that the readers can see your ideas very clearly. But if you have only like 5 to 7 minutes, then focus only on this part, okay? Now, what I can see from that video is that Dan Pink argued that using extrinsic motivation doesn't work in most cases, but he didn't explain why, right? And now we all know that there are some challenges of using pay for performance system, so you can use that challenges as evidence for Dan Pink's argument. So the first thing you can say here is there are some disadvantages and challenges of pay for performance system that can be evidence that can support to Dan Pink's argument of the ineffectiveness of extrinsic motivation. And then you can give some challenges that we already learned. For example, do only what you get paid for schedule, which means that the employees only perform a certain task that ensure them to get the rewards, and they ignore all other tasks even though that's their job. And this syndrome overall will lead to poorer performance, isn't it? The second challenge that you can say is maybe competition, which means that using some external rewards, the employees will believe that some people will get the reward and some people don't. So I have to beat everyone so that I can surely get the rewards. And that competition will lead to weaker cooperation among employees, which leads to poorer performance, right? So that is the first thing you can say. Now, if using extrinsic motivation doesn't work, why we still use pay for performance system? Why it is still the most popular tool in many organizations? Well, first of all, because it's easy to measure. Like I say to you, if you produce 100 units per day, I'm gonna give you $20. And that is very easy to measure because I just have to care about the number of units that you produce. I don't have to care about your designs. I don't have to care about your interest. I don't have to care about how you think about your job, right? And also it's easy to control you because if you don't reach that level of 100 units per day, I'm not gonna pay you. And that two reasons are very reasonable, understandable, because organizations want to keep costs at the minimum, right? But look at today's market. It's very challenging that the changes is complex and uncertain, and to deal with those changes, organizations have to have more than mechanical skills. They need like creativity and innovation to solve those problems. So perhaps if they have to use a new system to motivate employees, or they have to renew the pay for performance system to motivate employees. And that is the third point in your answer. Now, how can we improve pay for performance system using more of intrinsic motivation factors? So Dan Pink already suggested 3 elements that we can add here: autonomy, mastery, and purpose, right? So instead of focusing on the end result, which is the performance, as the base to reward employees. Organizations have to bring more support to the employees along the process, which means that they have to give employees more autonomy at work. For example, giving them the freedom and the control over their job. Let them make their own decisions, right? Or if the organization uses some team-based plan, they can group different employees with different skills, different competencies together so that they can share the skills together, and that's how the employees get better at their skills and learn more skills, right? And the third one is purpose. It relates to design the job to be more interesting and demonstrate the significance of the job to the overall performance of the organization. So this means that the performance is still the base that you look at to give some rewards, financial rewards. But before the employees have that performance, you have to also support them along the process. And this is important because this is the reason why the employees can have better performance. And this is just the byproduct of that motivation techniques, right? And that is how I answer this question. So, I mean, this is just my suggestions, okay? I don't know how much I can get from this answer, but I think that the question is discuss or evaluate, which means that as long as you give your opinions and you can give some reasons for that, you're fine, okay? So I hope that it make you a little bit clearer about the question, and I hope that you can figure out your own answer.